My name's Zach McCall, and I'm here with Global Volunteer Crusaders on another volunteer adventure. You never know where in the world volunteering may take you, and today, it's taking me to the top of the world's tallest mountain. Aloha! We at Global Volunteer Crusaders travel the world looking for volunteer opportunities that promote environmental health, ecological sustainability, social equality, and cultural diversity in order to better educate and motivate young people to make a positive difference in their local communities. You probably thought Mount Everest was the world's tallest mountain, and you're on the right track. At 29,029 feet, Mount Everest is the highest point on the planet. But the distinction of being the world's tallest mountain from base to summit belongs to Mauna Kea here on the big island of Hawaii. Is this thing on? Now class, listen up. This graph represents the island of Hawaii and the overall total height of Mauna Kea. As you can see, only 13,780 feet of Mauna Kea are visible above sea level. But that's just 1/4 of her total height. Another 20,000 feet lie between sea level and the ocean floor. But what makes Mauna Kea the undisputed heavyweight champion of mountains, geologically speaking, of course, is that due to a geological phenomenon called subsidence, or to the layman, sinking, is that another 23,000 feet lay buried below the floor of the Pacific. So, when comparing mountains like, say, Mount Everest to Mauna Kea, you can see there truly is no comparison. Question. So let's do the math. 13,780 feet above sea level, another 20,000 feet between sea level and the ocean floor, but an additional 23,000 feet buried below the ocean floor. That makes the total height of Mauna Kea from base to summit 56,780 feet tall. That's a whopping 27,751 feet taller than Mount Everest. But Mauna Kea isn't the only champion at the top of this mountain. The summit is also home to 2 more world record holders. The world's tallest mountain is also home to the world's highest observatory, as well as both of the world's largest telescopes. The W.M. Keck Observatory is the world's highest observatory and controls both of the world's largest telescopes, the Keck 1 and the Keck 2. Together, these telescopes produce deep space 3D images. The telescopes are 300 feet apart, or the length of a football field. When you combine the images that each telescope takes of the same point in the deepest reaches of space, you get a 3-dimensional image and a more accurate reading of the distance that object is from the Earth. So having the world's largest telescope on top of the world's tallest mountain makes everything crystal clear. Mauna Kea is just one of the reasons why Hawaii is such a beautiful and unique place, and it, along with the volcanoes, is part of the reason why we're here. But, more importantly, something beautiful and unique is happening in Hawaii's communities as well. While I'm staying here on the Big Island, I'm going to be volunteering at an eco-village known as Belly Acres. What's an eco-village? I'm glad you asked. We're going to go see this guy. His name's Graham. He's the founder of Belly Acres Eco-Village, and he's going to tell us all about it.
Belly Acres is an artistic eco-village, and I know you're probably wondering, what the heck is an eco-village? Basically, they all have one thing in common, and that is it's a concern for the future of our world. And when I say our world, I don't just mean the Earth, I mean the people in the world. Because one of the things that eco-villages provide is a way for people to live and work play together. It just happened that through the arts, through entertainment, through performances, we were given some respect in the community. We were able to raise the funding to build what was going to be a home for the circus, but in reality has become a community center, organized by the community and run by the community. Space, Seaview, Performing Arts Center for Education. So what Space has done for the kids in our community is potentially huge, and we needed a home base, and now we have it. And what that means is that the kids are going to be getting training in the same facility where they perform a lot. That we're going to have, we've got rigging, which we can never do when we're on the road in a tent, in a library, in a school. We've got scenery, props that we could never transport in our vans. We've got lighting, and we've got a great sound system. So that's a huge plus if you're a kid or a director of a kids show trying to present the very best that you can, and that's what we always try to do. One of the focuses of Bellyacres in recent years has been sustainability. Everyone's looking how to use our resources more efficiently. So we in Hawaii here, especially at Bellyacres, have our feet on the earth every day. And most days we have our hands in the dirt. And most days we're giving thanks for rain or sunshine, because that's what helps our land grow here, and our fruit trees, and keeps us supplied with water, supplied with energy. We've always been a solar powered community. We've always had water catchment. We've always had organic farming based upon a love for the aina, they call it here in Hawaii, the land, the environment, the earth. Mother Earth is probably how most people think of it. And even if somebody leaves here and goes home and can't figure out anything, to take back in terms of like saving the world, at least they are conscious of the fact that there are people like us out there, and we are doing it. And maybe the best they can do is just speak up and say, sustainability, I've seen it, it can happen, I believe in it, it can work, let's do it.
It takes a lot of work to make an eco-village run smoothly, and everyone is expected to contribute, and we're no exception. So while we're here, our contribution is going to be to work on bikes. So let's get started. Brakes. Wheel. I just took the tire off this wheel, the back wheel. I took a little extra time since the wheel was off to go ahead and clean these gears up real good, lubricate them, clean them up with some WD-40. And now I'm going to put the inner tube and the new tire on, but before I do that, I'm going to fill this new inner tube up with air and make sure there's no holes in it. Alright, I just put some air in the tube. Looks like there's no holes. The thing about inflating the inner tube to test it out is you don't want too much air in there. The tire itself actually supports the structure of the inner tube. So if it doesn't have a tire wrapped around it, it could expand and blow up. So bubbling is a technique so you can check to see if you have any leaks in your tire. Basically you just take some highly concentrated soapy water, lots of soap, and some water, and you go around the rim of the tire. What'll happen is, because of the soapy water, if you have any leaks, you'll see bubbles start to appear where the air is blowing out. And fortunately for us, at least on this side of the tire, I'm not seeing any leaks. And that's bubbling. So I finished putting this bike together, and as you can see, it's got the basket on it, the brakes, the new tires, everything's lubed up, ready to go. And this is how we get around here in Hawaii. I finished working on the bikes and cleaned up at the shop. I have a few hours before dinner, and I decided to go explore some of Hawaii's beautiful beaches. So I decided to visit Mauna Beach, and after a 2-mile drive over lava, you'd have to take another 1.5-mile walk over rough, jagged lava, which can barely be called a trail. But at the end of that lava is a sandy dune that reaches out over and opens up to the most pristine beach I've ever seen. Other than the turtles, I had this beach all to myself. It reminds me of something that I learned when I was in the Marine Corps. Sometimes the toughest thing you'll ever do turns out to be the best thing you ever did. What a great day I've had here on the Big Island. The sun began to set, so I headed back to Belly Acres for dinner and a bonfire. Now, I'm not sure what tomorrow has in store, but I can guarantee you it's going to be another amazing day. I finished working on all the bikes, so Graham had me do some repairs on a couple old generators and a few broken shovels that needed their handles replaced with guava trees. When I was done with work, I wanted to do something exciting. So the other volunteers, Sasha, Dan, Steven, and Emily, had suggested that we go see some waterfalls. And you know I'm in. Hawaii is a place of incredible natural beauty. They have over 150 waterfalls here on the Big Island, and one of the most popular is this one right behind me. It's called Rainbow Falls. Let's go check it out. So if you like adventure, you definitely need to come to Hawaii! I didn't think anything would top yesterday, but today was another amazing day. We got back to Belly Acres and sat around the fire sharing our adventure stories. And just before bed, Dan entertained us with an amazing fire show.